Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclyde's MTG. Today we have Commander Edition. I've been real busy lately, especially with work and other stuff. I haven't got a chance to go over the Commander cards. So I'm going to go run through them real quick. There's a lot of really cool things, a lot of on-flavor cards, really kind of special. I like them a lot. Just from what I've seen, I haven't looked at a lot of them, so if I'm a little surprised sometimes, it's actually legitimate because I haven't looked at all these. But what I've seen getting poked out there seems pretty sweet. So with that said, put them trade tables and seat backs in a full upright position as we take off into the land of spoilers. And remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, put a comment down below, help feed that YouTube algorithm for me so that we can get views to help support the channel as we go on our way to the 1,000 subscriber mark. So without anything else to say, let's get on with it as we run through the quick Commander edition of all the sweetness that's going to come out in the new Commander decks. So we're going to run through several of them at a time. So over here, we have a legendary dragon. Green, red, and 5 colors for a 4/4 flying haste. When it attacks, add X mana in any combination with X is total power attacking creatures. Spend this mana only to cast spells until end of turn. You don't lose mana as steps and phases ends. So that's pretty sweet. I don't know. I don't think that's a commander. We have Berserker's Frenzy for 3 red. It's an instant. For red and 2, it's an instant. Cast before combat or during combat before blockers are declared. Very interesting. That's very specific. Roll 2d20, ignore the lower roll. Any number of creatures they block this turn if able. You may choose which creatures block this turn. So basically, it's a force block if you want. So that's pretty cool. The Chaos Dragon, it's another dragon. Now, this looks pretty sweet. 2 red and 1 for a 4/4 with flying and haste. Chaos Dragon attach each combat if able. Wow, that's 3 mana for a 4/4. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, each player rolls a die 20. If one or more opponents has a higher result, Chaos Dragon can attack those players or planeswalkers they control. So this is pretty sweet, guys. I like this a lot. This might be something that finds its way into possibly standard just because of how cheap it is. That's something definitely to look at. I mean, worst case scenario, you don't attack them for 4. Who really cares? Um, yeah, this might be a thing. Who knows? So we have Maddening Helix again, 2 red and 1. It's an enchant player. That's new. Haven't seen those in a while. Whenever enchant player casts a non-creature spell, roll die 6. It deals damage to that player equal to the result. Then attach Maddening Helix to another one of your opponents. One of your opponents chosen at random. So this very well also could be a very good card in standard, just because there's only one opponent, so it has to. I don't know. Maybe it can't be played. I don't know. But anyway, uh, definitely in Commander, these are pretty cool. A lot of dice rolling things going on. It looks like they're really getting pretty heavy on the dice rolling for D&D. Vengeful Ancestors, also red, 2 red and 2 for a 3/4 flyer. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, you go target creature, which is until the end of the next turn. Creature attacks each combat if able and attacks a player other than you. That's pretty sweet. When a go creature attacks, it deals 1 damage to its controller. So that's pretty sweet. That's definitely all commander, and that's going to be pretty cool. Then we go into green here. We got a bag of tricks for a green to colorless artifact. 5 mana, you roll die 8, reveal a number of cards top your library until you reveal a creature card with mana value equal to the result. Put that card on the battlefield and rest on the bottom in random order. This seems really powerful, especially for commander. Only because 5 mana is really hard to do in standard, or this might be something else. Druid of Purification. A green and 3 for a 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, starting with you, each player may choose artifact or enchantment you don't control. Destroy each permanent chosen this way. Pretty sweet. Indomitable Might, green and 3. It's a flash. Enchant creature gets +3/+3. Enchant creature's controller may have it assign its combat damage as though it wasn't blocked. Definitely a good commander card. 4 mana though seems kind of high. So very interesting so far. Neat little commander stuff going on here. We got a Hydra. You know how much you boys in Commander love those Hydras. So Neverwinter Hydra. Love Neverwinter. 2 green and XX. When it enters the battlefield, roll X die 6. Jesus. It enters with a number of +1/+1 counters equal to the total of those results, and it has trample and ward 4. So this could be, yeah, for 4 mana, you get a 12/12. That's just nuts. Well, no, 4 mana would get you a 6/6. Yeah. Yeah. Still, very powerful card. Yeah. So Wild Endeavor, 2 green and 4 sorcery. Roll 2 die 4, choose one result. Create a number of 3/3 beast tokens equal to the number of that result. Then search your library for a number of basic land cards equal to that result, and then put them on the battlefield tapped. Yeah, this says Commander all over. This is pretty sweet. Another great green land search card for Commander. Then we have the Dragonborn Champion here, green, red, and 2 for a 5/3 with trample. Whenever a source you control deals 5 or more damage to a player, draw a card. Notice how he has 5 power, so you can actually draw a card if you hit somebody with him. So this is pretty sweet. Uh, Cloth's Will, green, red, red, X. Choose one. If you control a commander, you may cast this. If you choose a commander when you cast this spell, you may choose both. So it does X damage to each creature without flying, or destroy up to X target artifacts or enchantments. That's very interesting. As an instant, it's really good. Um, yeah, so these are all pretty sweet commander cards. Definitely see some pretty cool shenanigans. Oh, Wolf Guard of Icewind Dale. Boy, I can't wait to see him finally get in there. See what he can do here. So for red, green, and 3 for 4/4, he has melee. When he attacks, he's +1/+1 till end of turn for each opponent. Okay, so he's at least a 5/5 for 5. That's pretty cool. Creature control attacking would cause a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger. That ability triggers an additional time. I wonder if that works with melee, which he'd be a 6/6. Anyway, still, sweet card. Probably going to be a real good commander, or at least 1 in the 100. Then we have Naihahulu. Well, anyway, this is going to be a sweet commander, it looks like. Mythic, black, blue, white, and 2 for a 3/5. When it enters the battlefield for each opponent, tap up to one tap creature you control. Tap up to one untapped creature you control. When you do, gain control of target creature that player controls with a power less than or equal to the tapped creature's power for as long as you control this card, basically. Whenever you attack with a creature an opponent owns, you gain 2 life and that player loses 2 life. So yeah, this is going to be a great commander. Lots of shenanigans. This will be very popular. Next, we have the immovable rod. It's funny. So for 1 white, you may choose not to untap the immovable rod during your untap step. Whenever immovable rod becomes untapped, venture into the dungeon. Wow, pretty neat. For a white and a 3, you can tap it as long as immovable rod remains tapped, and the target permanent loses all abilities and can't attack or block. So this is a sweet removal spell, because you could just keep untapping and tapping it and venture into the dungeon while keeping something from hitting you. This is going to be a great card. It's just phenomenal. Then over here we have Radiant Solar, so 6 mana for a 3/6 flying lifelink. It says Commander all over it already. Whenever it or another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, venture into the dungeon. This is really sweet. A white, discard it, venture into the dungeon and gain 3 life. So cards like this are going to make dungeon decks really possible, especially in Commander. They're really pushing it, it seems like. So moving on, next we have Revivify, which is a white and 2 colorless instant. You roll die 20, add a number of creature cards in your add the number of creature cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. 1 to 14, return all creature cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Interesting. 15 plus, return those cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Return all creature cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Return those cards. Oh, okay. So either you get the ones that were just this turn, or 15 or plus, you get everything in your graveyard. So this is gonna be expensive. This basically just says animate my graveyard with the right kind of roll. Wow, that's pretty good. So thorough investigation. We have a white and 2. Whenever you attack, you investigate. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, venture into the dungeon. Yeah, so this thing's gonna be worth a small fortune. Especially for 3 mana. This is gonna be the next Rhystic Study slash Tithe, or Tithing, whatever it was, that other white one for 4. Yeah, this is just gonna be nuts. We have the Arcane Endeavor, 2 blue and 5 colorless. For sorcery, roll 2 die 8s, choose one result, draw cards equal to that result. Then you may cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value less than or equal to the other result from your hand without paying its mana cost. Okay, this is okay, but 7 mana is really pushing it. Men, Willy Illusionist, so 2 blue and 1 for a 1/3. It's a gnome wizard. Great. I love it. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 blue illusion creature token with this creature gets +1/+0 for each other illusion you control. Wow. Whenever an illusion you control dies, you may put a permanent card with mana value less than or equal to that creature's power from your hand onto the battlefield. This is a thing right here, guys. I mean, it's gonna take some doing, but this is some serious shenanigans right here. Wow, I like that a lot. All right, our next group here we have the Phantom Steed. It's an illusion. Imagine that. Goes along with the theme that we just talked about. A blue and 3 for a 4/3 with flash. When it enters the battlefield, exile another target creature you control until the Phantom Steed leaves the field. Uh, Whenever the Phantom Steed attacks, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of the exiled creature. Oh, wow. Except it's an illusion in addition to its other types. Sacrifice the token in the combat. So that's pretty sweet. Really cool shenanigans there. We have the Rod of Absorption. So for a blue and 2 artifact, whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, exile it instead of putting it into the graveyard as it resolves. For X and tap, sacrifice Rod of Absorption. You may cast any number of spells from among the cards. Exile Rod of Absorption with a total mana value of X or less without paying their mana cost. That's going to be something. That's pretty sweet, guys. So Grave Endeavor, again, 2 black and 5. Seems like a lot. Roll 2 die 10. Choose one result. Return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. The number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the result. Then each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life where X is the other result. It seems really cool, but 7 mana is a lot. So, Wand of the Orcus. So a black and 2 for legendary artifact. Whenever equipped creature attacks or blocks, it and zombies you control gain death touch until end of turn. Very interesting. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Wow. So this seems really cool too. I like that a lot. Moving right along. Next here we have Extract Brain. The good old Illithids for you. So for a black, blue, and X, target opponent chooses X cards from their hand. Look at those hands. You may cast a spell from among them without paying their mana cost. Wow, is that powerful? Yeah, casting this for like 4 and hitting like something really big in someone's hand and casting it for free. Yeah, free casting is just not something that should be happening. This thing's gonna be really powerful, maybe even banned. Um, Next we have the Midnight Pathlighter. Blue, white, 2 colorless for a 2/3 human wizard. Creatures you control can't be blocked except by legendary creatures. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, venture into the dungeon. Very sweet again. Component pouch. So everybody loves components when they're a wizard, right? Ugh. So 3 colorless artifact. Remove a component counter from the component pouch. Add 2 mana of any color. Wow. Tap it. Roll die 20. 1 through 9. Put a component counter on the pouch. 10 through 20. Put 2 on it. Very interesting mana rock. It's an uncommon. I don't know how much play it's going to see, but it may be a thing. It seems pretty cool. All right, moving right along. Next we have Karazikar, the Eye Tyrant. Okay, it's a beholder. So it's a mythic, red, black, and 3. Whenever you attack a player, tap target creature that player controls and goad it. Very nice. Whenever an opponent attacks another one of your opponents, you and the attacking player each draw a card and lose a life. Interesting. 5 for a 5. Seems very powerful. Like it a lot. So, Dance Macabre. 2 black and 3 sorcery. Each player sacrifices a non-token creature. Roll a die 20 and add the toughness of that creature you sacrifice this way. Okay, it says each player though, so you still get to make your opponent sacrifice creatures. And then 1 through 14, return a creature card put into the graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. Oh, so you can actually like choose their creatures, not just yours. 15 plus, return up to 2 creature cards put in the graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. So this is a good way to make them kill their creatures and you get them. This is going to be a sweet card, Commander. So next we have the Death Tyrant, a black and 4 for a Beholder Skeleton. It's a 4/6 with Menace, very nice. It has negative energy cone. Whenever a attacking creature you control or a blocking creature an opponent controls dies, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. For 6, return a Death Tyrant from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. That's really cool. Thing just never goes away, so that's really nice for Commander. The Grim Hireling, we have a Tiefling Rogue, a black and 3 colorless for a 3/2. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create 2 treasure tokens. Interesting. A black, sacrifice X treasure tokens. Target creature gets -X till end of turn. Only activate as a sorcery. So that's a real good way to have removal in your deck. I like that a lot. That's pretty cool. Moving right along for the next set of cards. We have the Hellish Rebuke. Looks like a black and 2 instant. Until end of turn, permanent your opponent controls gain. When this permanent deals combat damage to a player who casts Hellish Rebuke, sacrifice this permanent, you lose 2 life. Interesting. So that's a good way to board wipe your opponent if they swing on you real hard. Or kill a creature they have that you can't target, maybe. This is really weird. May have some purpose to it. So we have Lorcan, the Warlock Collector, 2 black and 5 for a 6/6 flyer. Okay. Whenever a creature card is put into your opponent's graveyard from anywhere, you may pay life equal to the mana value. If you do, put it on the battlefield under your control. It's a Warlock in addition to other types. If a Warlock you control would die, exile it instead. 7 mana seems like a lot, but it's got a cool ability, so we'll see what happens. We have the Fiendish Whip here for a red and 1. We have an equipment that says +2 and has reach, +2/+0 and has reach. Whenever a equipped creature is dealt damage, it deals damage equal to its power to target player or planeswalker. That's very interesting. That's a good way to spread the love, basically. Put this on, in those good old stuffy doll decks or what have you, and just start Fiendish Lash and everything. Next here we have Reckless Endeavor. So this is the red version of the 7 mana cost spell. Roll 2 die 12, choose 1 result. Reckless Endeavor deals damage equal to that result to each creature. Ooh. Then create a number of treasure tokens equal to the other result. So this is very interesting. This is pretty much Bilbo not escaping from Smaug. And then dropping all the coins in front of everybody else as he dies. So very interesting. A neat board sweeper for red, but I mean the treasure tokens are sweet and all, but what do you do if you're like a 1 and a 2? Like this makes it very unusable. So, I mean it might be a thing if you just want to be on theme. Next we have Share the Spoils, a red and a colorless. It's an enchantment. Whenever Share the Spoils enter the battlefield or an opponent loses the game, you exile the top card of each player's library. During each player's turn, that player may play a land or cast a spell from among cards exiled with Share the Spoils, and they may spend mana as though or any mana to cast a spell. When they do, you exile the top card of their library. Very interesting. Good group hug card, I guess. Wild Magic Sorcerer. Love Wild Magic. So red 3 colors for 4/3 Orc Shaman. The first spell you cast from exile each turn has Cascade. Ooh, that could be something kind of cool. That'd be really sweet with all those stuff with suspend and this, that, and the other. All those, if you suspend, I guess. Well, I mean, if you have a whole bunch of stuff that costs 0, you suspend 0. You still can't cast 0. Yeah, so that takes some work. I'm not. Maybe that's good. Maybe it's not. So we have Bag of Devouring, unlike the Bag of Holding. So for 1 black, whenever you sacrifice a non-token artifact or creature, exile it. Sacrifice another artifact or creature to draw a card. For 3, you sacrifice the Bag of Devouring, roll a die 12, return up to X cards from among cards, exile the Bag of Devouring to their owner's hands, where X is the result. So this seems really cool. The ability to sacrifice something to draw a card and possibly get it back later. It's a good way to protect something. Yeah, I like this a lot. So it's cheap, easy to use. This is probably going to be a powerhouse. Fevered Suspicion. So black, red, and 6. So 8 mana for a sorcery. Wow. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. You may cast any number of spells from among those non-land cards without paying their mana cost. And it has rebound. Again, free casting, going to be busted. People are going to use it. Just, yeah, it's going to be silly. Moving right along. We have Hurl through Hell, so very interesting. Black, red, 2, so 4 mana instant. Exile target creature. All right. Until the end of your next turn, you may cast that card and you may spend mana of any color to. Wow, so that's really good, guys. You could just like exile something on their discard phase and then on your turn cast it. Like this thing's gonna be powerhouse. Bucknard's Everfull Purse. So for 2, and then 1 tap, you roll a die 4, create a number of treasure tokens equal to the result, and the player to the right gains control of it. Good group hug deck. Ebony Fly. So 2 colorless artifact. Enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap it for a colorless. For 4, you roll a dice 6, which isn't tapping. It's just you can just mana sink into it. Until end of turn, you may have the ebony fly become a XX insect artifact creature token with flying, where X is the result. Okay. Whenever ebony fly attacks, another target attacking creature gains flying until the end of the turn. Not bad. Is a mana rock though. Probably has this thing. So the Underdark Rift. This sounds interesting. I love the Underdark. So taps for colorless, doesn't come into play tap. Nice. So 5 and tap Underdark. You exile Underdark Rift. Okay. Roll a die 10. Put target artifact, creature, or planeswalker into its owner's library just beneath the top X cards of the library, where X is the result. Activate only the sorcery. So target. So this is a good removal card. It's land removal, so you can put something inside their deck so they can't get to it. So probably got some promise. No, not too shabby. All right, moving right along, we have Storvald, Frost Giant Jarl. Nice. Blue, white, and green. 4, 7 mana for a 7/7 with Ward 3. Wow. Other creatures you control have Ward 3. That's pretty sweet. Whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, choose one or both. Target creature has base power and toughness 7/7 in the turn, or target creature has base power and toughness till. Wow, so you can attack and make your guys 7/7s or make their guys 1/1s. That's pretty sweet. So the Phase Steed, so 2 white and 2 for a 4/4, not pretty good cost. When the Phase Steed attacks, another target attacking creature you control gains indestructible to end of turn. Nice. Whenever a creature or planeswalker you control becomes a target of spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. Wow, that might be good enough for standard. That's some pretty sweet abilities. Oh boy, look at this. The Holy Avenger. 1 white and 2. Equipped creature has double strike. Pretty powerful. Whenever equipped creature does combat damage, you may put an aura card from your hand on the battlefield attached to it. Wow. Equip 3. So this seems like a powerhouse. Maybe even good enough in standard, because you hit somebody once because that has double strike. You hit once, put something on it, and then you hit them again, you put something else on them. I mean, you're probably going for a lot. It's definitely going to be a commander card, but this is really good. I like it a lot. So Mantle of the Ancients, 2 white and 3 for a aura. Okay, enchant creature you control, so it's only your stuff. When Mantle of the Ancients enters the battlefield, return a number of target auras and/or enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each aura and equipment attached to it. Wow. So that's a thing. And if you put some stuff on there like, hex proof, blah 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 blah, so it doesn't die, like this could really be a powerhouse in Commander. Just let you recycle all your stuff. So next year we have the Robe of Stars. I remember these. So for a white 1, it's a equipped creature gets +0/+3. Astral projection, creature faces out, equip 1. Very nice. Not too shabby. Valiant Endeavor. So 2 white and 4. You have a sorcery. Roll 2 dice 6. Choose one result. Destroy each creature with power greater than or equal to the result, and then create a number of 2/2 white knight tokens with vigilance equal to the other result. So this is going to be really good. This is like Wrath of God, make creatures all in one. Because you literally want to be like, oh, I rolled a 1 and a 6. So anything equal to 1 or higher on their power is dead. And then I'll make 6 2/2 tokens. Yeah, this thing seems great. Diviner's Portent. So blue, 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 and X for an instant. Roll a die 20 and add the number of cards in your hand. Okay. 1 through 14, draw X cards. 15 plus, scry X, then draw X cards. This is like an instant brainstorm. This thing is nuts. Yeah, like worst case, it's a 3 mana instant draw spell for straight blue. Like, yeah, I don't know what to say other than the fact that this is just too good. So anyway, the Netherese Puzzle Wand. So a blue and 3, it's an enchantment. Focus Beam. At the beginning of your upkeep, roll a die 4, scry X, where X is the result. That's good. Perfect Illumination. Whenever you roll a dice's highest natural result, draw a card. Wow. And you get a shot to draw a card every turn when you roll the dice and scry. So like this thing is just bonkers. This is really good. Moving right along. Next we have Winged Boots. So for a blue and 1, equipped creature has flying and ward 4. Yeah, not the best thing in the world, but pretty cool. Good old belt of giant strength. So for 1 green and 1, the equipped creature has base power and toughness 10/10. That must be the biggest belt of giant strength there is, like Storm Giant or whatever it is. But it does have an equipped 10 cost. The ability costs X less, though, to activate, where X is the power of the creature it targets. Yeah, not real sure about that one. But it is what it is, I guess. So, just play that with something that lets you equip it lets you auto equip it, be fine. Song of Inspiration, 2 green and 3. Choose up to 2 target permanent cards in your graveyard, roll a die 20, and add the total mana value of those 2 cards. Roll die 20, and add the total mana value of those 2 cards. 1 through 14, return those cards to your hand. 15 plus, return those cards to your hand, gain life equal to their total mana value. Wow. That's really good. So category of Mithril Hall, Human Archer. So for green and a white, you get a 2/2. That's pretty sweet. First strike and reach. Wow, already really good. When she attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each equipment attached to it. Really strong. 1, remove all +1/+1 counters. Deals X damage to target attacking or blocking creature an opponent controls, where X is the number of counters removed. This thing is a thing. Wow, this card's really powerful. I like it a lot. Moving right along. So next we have Ride the Avalanche. A blue and a green instant. The next spell you would cast this turn can be cast as though it had flash. When you cast your next spell this turn, put X +1/+1 counters on it. Up to 1 target creature, where X is the mana value of that spell. Ooh, that's disgusting. Yeah, so that's a thing. Then we have Clay Golem, 4 colorless for 4/4, very nice. 6 mana. You roll a die 8, and you get Monstrosity X, where X is the result. Wow. Berserk. When Clay Golem becomes Monstrosity, destroy target and target permanent. This thing's amazing uncommon. Oh my lord. This should be in every commander deck. Then, of course, we also have the Sword of Hours. So 2 colorless. Whenever equipped creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage, you roll a die 12. If the result is greater than the damage dealt, or the result is a 12, double the number of +1/+1 counters on that creature. Wow. That's insane. It only equips for 2. It's not too bad of an uncommon. Not gonna lie. Kind of like it. So, with that said, guys, that's the Commander Edition. These are all the new Commander cards that are going to be going out that are spoiled in the new Commander decks. I hope you like them. I thought they were really cool. Seem really fun. Got a lot of good brewing going on here. I see a lot of fun stuff. Very dice oriented. So make sure you start bringing your D&D dice, those Magic games, guys, because you're going to need them. And with that said, starting tomorrow, we're going to open 3 more collector boosters. That's right, 3 collector boosters. Running total on the screen, just like on July 4th. So stay tuned for that. See you guys on Tuesday for it. And as always, thank you for letting me entertain you. It's been an honor and a pleasure. Remember to be kind out there. And coming up at the end of the collector boosters will be my number 1 picks for the best D&D cards for Modern and Standard. And maybe even Legacy, depending on what you're looking at. So, with all that said, guys, thanks a lot for your time. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.